Alright guys, so today we're going to graph a sine graph with the equation y equals 3 sine times 2x minus pi plus 2. Now before we start anything, we're going to rewrite the equation like this. Y equals 3 sine times 2 times x minus pi over 2 plus 2. So now to find our a, we're going to look what's in front of the sign, and we see that it's 3. So our a equals 3, and our amplitude is the absolute value of our a. So if our a equals 3, it's going to be the absolute value of 3, which is 3. To find our b, we're going to see what we factored out, which was the 2. So our b equals 2. And our period, to find our period, you're going to do 2 pi over the absolute value of b, and we see that our b was 2, so it's the absolute value of 2. And these 2's are going to cancel, leaving us with a period of pi. Our h is what is shifted, and we see it's minus pi over 2, so our h is going to be plus pi over 2. You flip your sign. And your k is going to be what's added at the end, which is a 2, positive 2.
Okay, so in order to graph a sine graph, you're going to have to graph 2 different periods, which is equivalent to 9 different tick marks on the graph. So to start, you already have your first tick mark because that's the h that we found earlier, which is pi over 2. So that's how you're going to begin, but to find all the rest of the tick marks, you need to find the width in between each one. So you're going to take the period that we found earlier and multiply it by 1/4. So the period we found was pi, and when you multiply that by 1/4, in your calculator when you're solving this, you're going to switch the pi symbol with a number 1, and then you'll add back in the pi symbol once you get your answer in order to get accurate results. So when you do pi times 1/4, you're going to get pi over 4 as your width mark. So then you're going to take this number and you're going to be adding it to your previous number. So you'll take pi over 2 and you're going to add it to pi over 4, which is going to get you the first or the second tick mark with 3 pi over 4. Then you're going to take 3 pi over 4 and add that to pi over 4, and you're going to get pi. Then you're going to take pi and add it to pi over 4, which gives you 5 pi over 4. And then you'll take 5 pi over 4 and add it to pi over 4 again, and you'll get 3 pi over 2. Then you'll take 3 pi over 2, add it to pi over 4, and you'll get 7 pi over 4. Then you'll take 7 pi over 4, add it to pi over 4, and you'll get 2 pi. And then you'll take 2 pi, add it to pi over 4, and get 9 pi over 4. And finally, you'll take 9 pi over 4 and add it to pi over 4 to get your last tick mark of 5 pi over 2. And this shows where your entire sine graph is going to end.
Okay, so in order to properly graph a sine graph, it's really important that you understand its parent function and how these different transformations affect it. So right here, we kind of just broke down our phase shifts, and the first one that I want to look at is your k value, because this is what's going to tell us our sinusoidal axis. So in this case, our k is 2, and that's where we get this dotted line from, because our axis is at 2. Next, we can look at our a value, which gives us our amplitude, and that is how far above and below the axis we can travel, giving us our maximum and our minimum. So in this case, it being 3, we go 3 up from 2, which gives us a max of 5, and then we go 3 down from 2, which gives us a minimum of -1. Next, our h and our b tell us where our graph starts and where it ends. So in this case, we're doing 2 periods, and our graph will begin at pi over 2, and then it'll end at 5 pi over 2. All right, so since it is a sine graph, we can assume that it will start at its axis. So it'll start right here. And next, since it is a positive a value, we're going to travel up to the maximum. Then we're going to go back down to our axis, way down to our minimum, back to our axis, way up to our max, axis, min, and then we are going to end where we began at our axis. And I'm just going to connect these dots with a nice little curve. Okay. And this will be our sine graph.